everyone, this is Sandra at Spirit of Avalon. So today I'm just here really to do a quick video just to tell you about a magical experience that I've had. Well, I consider it to be a magical experience. So, and this here in front of me is the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane, and this is the mass market version. And this is here for a reason. One, to give you something to look at, but also, while I'm talking, but also because crows feature in the magical experience. So, today, I was dreading today because I had to go with my mum to the hospital. And it's very difficult getting my mum in and out of a car. Then, you know, it takes a long time. We have to do it very slowly. When we get to the hospital, I have to find a wheelchair and, you know, things like that. And she was going for a CT scan, which is right at the back of the hospital. And so I've been worrying about this whole thing of, oh God, what if there's not a wheelchair? What if this? What if that? I don't like going to this particular hospital anyway because it's the one where my dad went, and every time I walk through the doors I can see my dad. But anyway, prior to this, I'm sitting looking out of my bedroom window. I had the TV on, but I switched it off in the end and was just looking out of the window at the birds in the trees. And I noticed that there were 4 crows in the tree, and I thought, that's unusual. You might get the occasional crow here, but mostly it's magpies. And 4 crows, 3 in one tree. Well, they were all in one tree. I think there was 3 kind of, like one here, one here, one here, so almost in a row together, but on different branches, and then one right at the top. And I thought, wow, 4 crows, that's really strange. And then it just came to me while I was looking at those crows, the Morrigan. Now, the Morrigan is not a goddess that I generally work with, but she has come to me before, like in times of need. So I looked at those crows and I thought, is this the Morrigan? Like, you know, saying to me, you know, to give me courage, like, you know, you've got to be tough. You've got to have the courage. You can do this. Because that's what she's like. She's quite a fierce goddess, and she like kick you up the butt kind of, you know. And because it was so unusual to see crows, especially 4 of them in the tree like that, and they stayed for ages, these 4 crows, and I was just sitting there looking at them. I did take a couple of photographs, but because even zooming in, it's still, you can just about see them. So I thought, wow, you know, I wonder if it's because of me panicking about this hospital visit, and then suddenly there's 4 crows. Then, now you've heard me talk about Bridget coming to me fairly recently. So while I'm looking at these crows, I can hear a red kite. The red kite is associated with Bridget, and I told you about my experience with the red kite and how dramatic it was, like Bridget basically saying, right, you will listen to me, I am here. And I could hear the call of the red kite, and I'm looking up in the air thinking, where are you? I can hear you, you're close. And then the next thing, it took off from the tree next to the crows. So it had been sat in the tree. Now that rarely happens. You very, very rarely see a red kite sitting in a tree. And I didn't see it immediately because it was camouflaged by the leaves. But when it took off, I saw it, and it was making the calling noise that they make. And I thought, wow, a red kite and the crows, Morrigan, and Bridget, both, I think, in my opinion, trying to help me in different ways. Like the Morrigan, like, come on, you have to have courage for this, you have to do it. There's no sort of, I can't do this, you can and you have to. And Bridget, kind of in a more gentle way, kind of, come on, you've got this, I'm there, I'm going to help you with this, I'm going to keep you calm through this. You're not going to have a panic attack or anything like that. I'm going to keep you calm through this. And the Morrigan is there as well to help. And I just thought it was amazing, and it just, I mean, I nearly cried looking at these birds, because I could just feel the energy of the Morrigan and Bridget together, like they were working together in unison, which, you know, again, I think is unusual. I don't know. I think I have heard people say that sometimes they'll get one goddess come in with another one and they'll kind of work together, but I don't think it generally happens. And it's just really strange, because Bridget is quite new to me. The goddess that I've always had for a long time is Ariamrod, but that wasn't the energy I was feeling here. It was the Morrigan and Bridget. And then on the way to the hospital, my mum was in the car driving to the hospital, and fortunately not going too fast, because we went round the back roads where the woods are, the forest, and this deer ran in front of the car. No, we weren't nowhere near going to hit it or anything, and it ran across the road. But I just thought, whoa, don't tell me that is Ellen of the Ways as well. I mean, that might not have been. I think that was more spirit animal. Even though obviously that was a real deer, that was like, because one of my spirit animals is the deer. So I think that's what that was. So it was almost like, look, we've all got your back here. You're going to do this. And it actually went really smoothly. We got there. Fortunately, there was 2 wheelchairs left at the front. I managed to nab one for my mum, which was fortunate, because she'd have never walked it to the CT scanner. We got there. The 2 people in the scanning room were lovely, really helpful. I could only be with her for a little while, just to help her onto the scanner bed and everything. Then I had to wait outside, but she was fine with them. They got her up, they got her into the wheelchair and everything without me having to go in there and do that, although I wouldn't have minded. And we were actually out sitting in reception, waiting to be picked up before her appointment time. And because she wasn't able to eat anything before the scan, we took some snacks with us, so she was able to eat those in reception while we waited, and then got her back in the car and home. So it worked out really well, and I'm like, thank you, Morrigan, Bridget, and the dear spirit animal. You know, all of my helpers were there, and the Morrigan even came on board. Like I said, she has done this with me before, in times of panic and that, like that, because I'd got myself so panicked even from last week, just knowing that appointment was coming up, because see, some people that wouldn't bother them at all, but my anxiety is not good with stuff like that. But you know, it all went smoothly, and I will be leaving some offerings and things, and you know, thanking the Morrigan as well, you know, for her help. This strength card, for instance, that's what I had to have, and I did today, and Mum got through it okay, because she didn't want to go, and I thought she was going to really kind of kick off and say I'm not having it done, but luckily she didn't, so there was that added worry as well. But I just thought I would come on and just tell you about that, because I just thought it was such a cool thing to happen, especially when normally you don't see crows very often here, and if you do, it's one normally on its own, not four like that. And then the red kite at exactly the same time, and hearing it calling and calling, and then took off, you know, and I could see it fly off and still calling, and it still hung around. It was still going round in circles over the trees for a while afterwards as well. So it was just amazing. And then the deer on the way there, and I just thought, oh God, because I was kind of, you know, I hope, you know, that I can get some help to get through this. I'd like asked for help, and I'd got it. It's like we all have your back, and even the woods that made me think of Canoenos and, you know, and stuff. But I really felt the energy of Bridget, the Morrigan, and the deer spirit animal, and I actually obviously saw a real deer. I'm sorry about that noise, guys. It's somebody drilling or sawing outside. It's typical as soon as I film, of course. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know about that, because, you know, I know sometimes people poo-poo these things or say, oh, it's just, you're just being woo or whatever, or it's a load of rubbish. To me, it's not. To me, it's not rubbish. I felt that, and, you know, as I said, the Morrigan isn't one that normally comes to me, but she did in this case, along with Bridget, and it was just amazing, and it all worked out really well. So just thought I would share that with you all. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.